As usual, on the road, CBR 1000RR, great bike. Power's real manageable. The bottom end's a little bit soft. That's nice. You don't have to worry about the bike getting away from you. The mid-range is really plump, really fat. Makes it easy to pass cars, pass people. Just a really, really good, friendly street motorcycle.
Overall, I think that the Honda is probably the easiest bike to get along with out of all these 1000s. I mean, the power is super smooth. It doesn't really have a gnarly hit like, say, you know, the Yamaha or the BMW, but that's probably like one of its best features. I mean, it just kind of, you know, runs through the power. It really is easy to control.
The Olean suspension on the bike, like it works pretty good. Like it's got really nice action. You can really ride that bike pretty hard in the corners and feel comfortable.
The Honda CBR 1000RR definitely struck a little bit better chord on the street than it did on the track, because some of the features that the newer models have come out with the different electronic systems and suspension systems that lack on the CBR 1000 are kind of something that aren't always necessarily needed on the street.
It is what it is. It has an on-off switch with a starter button. It's simple. It's just a motorcycle without all the junk added onto it.
That's what I like about it. There's not much going on, you know, there's not much that you have to worry about, you know. Turn it on, turn it off, put gas in it, see how fast you're going. It's really all you need, you know.
No ABS, no traction control, no power modes. You know, it really doesn't matter that much. Like, the bike is just so well sorted, so easy to ride, so fun to ride that you're really not gonna miss that. But yet, it's still kind of missing those features where it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It would be nice to have a little bit more power and a little bit of a safety net if you wanted it. But overall, the CBR 1000RR SP, especially in that Marc Marquez 93 replica colorway, it's a cool bike. Like, I wouldn't mind picking one of those things up and having it in my garage. As usual, the CBR 1000RR is a highly adept road bike. What it lacks for in electronics, it makes up with sensible ergonomics and a peppy yet easy to master engine, making the third place CBR a solid choice for racking up mileage on the street. GSXR 1000 is like one of my favorite bikes ever made. Like, I just really like riding that thing on the street. Super comfortable, super easy to ride. Engine still has good character. It still has good power. Like, yeah, it's not the fastest thing on the road, but it ain't the slowest either. And I just like how easy it is to maneuver. The suspension just glides over the bumps, yet it still offers sporty handling.
The cockpit and the feel, and when you're riding it, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really comfortable. You know, when I was riding it down the street, I thought it was great. When you get into the canyons, you know, that's when the suspension kind of, you know, counteracts that feeling. The forks kind of chatter and the rear kind of moves around. And so, you know, if the suspension on the Suzuki was better, I probably would enjoy riding it more. But, you know, when you really push it and you get into the canyons, I just wasn't feeling it.
On some of the other more race-paced, race ergonomic bikes, I was wishing there was a little bit more creature comfort, and the Suzuki actually brought that, and I actually thought that it was a great bike on the street compared to where it lacked a little bit on the track yesterday, just due to the comfort that it had, and if I wanted to go on a longer ride, that might be a good choice. Relatively a few years ago, they did upgrade the brake calipers and master cylinder, and this was the first time I experienced those. That was definitely a change for the better, and I'm glad they did that because that was their downfall for so many years. But as far as the street comparison goes, I would actually have to rank the Suzuki pretty high up there for the straight fact that it was a comfortable motorcycle that I felt confident riding on the street.
And again, like, this GSXR 1000 doesn't have any electronics. It's the old school man's bike, so to say. But the thing works so well that you really don't need electronics. Like, the throttle response on the thing is superb, better than some of the bikes that have all the fancy electronics. It's not the prettiest motorcycle, but it's got a decent engine, sounds cool, handles pretty good, and it's super comfortable. And if you can stand looking at that thing in your garage every day, that's probably the bike that's gonna be your best value. If versatile and affordable performance are atop your shopping list, you simply can't argue with the runner-up GSXR. Sure, it's not the newest or flashiest leader bike on the road, it is one of the most comfortable, making the GSXR 1000 the bike of choice for long days in the saddle. BMW is a little bit of a surprise for me. On the track, I wasn't super enthralled with it, but on the road, I actually was. That DDC suspension, it didn't work super awesome, but it didn't work really bad either. Like once you kind of dial in the settings, the dampening response that you like, it actually worked pretty good.
One of the most evolutionary things that I've ever ridden is that auto blip shifter is amazing. The confidence that you can have from high RPM just stomping through the gears up or down. It does an amazing job. And I actually have never ever been a fan of the electronic valve suspension before. And I think that this bike definitely had an improvement from the track to the street and handled very well in the street conditions that we had changing throughout the day.
I like how it's really easy to adjust the power modes on the bike. So today when we were riding in some of the slower canyons, like I used rain mode just because it made the bike easier to ride. But then, you know, when you're kind of hauling on faster roads, you put it in sport mode and you get like full access to the power with a little bit milder throttle response. I like how you can turn off the ABS. I like how you can turn off the traction control.
For me, probably my favorite all around because I like to go long distance, has heated grips, the motor's strong, really, really comfortable.
The BMW, I think it's hard to beat. It has tons of electronics, all these different features, and they're easily, you know, manipulated by the hand controls. You know, the look is cool, the sound is cool, the motor's amazing. That BMW is pretty darn good.
I think overall, if you just want something that's really just like wham bam, like power, electronics, all the bells and whistles that are easy to use, easy to turn off, automatic suspension, S1000RR, pretty hard bike to beat. Fast, fun, and comfortable, the high-tech BMW does the best job of marrying mechanics and electronics, proving yet again it has the finest overall package, with the mighty S1000RR finishing at the top of the class.